Hi boys and girls, happy Friday. How are you all? I hope you had a great week and you're ready for the weekend. Hopefully you've been reading and doing those resources that we have provided for you all. Today we're going to do things a little differently. I am not reading a story for you. We are going to be doing a fun science activity. So yesterday I posted some links on Dojo with some cool science adaptation practice. If you got a chance to do that, awesome, great job. I hope you enjoyed it. If you didn't get a chance to do those links yet in that practice, I highly suggest it. It's going to help you with this activity today. So if you want to go over and do those practice things, that would be a good way to start this activity. So with that being said, this activity is not mandatory. It's just a suggested fun activity that I have for you. And if you're bored this weekend or next week and you just want something to do, this is a good fun activity, but don't feel like you have to do this. And if you don't have the supplies, don't make mom and dad go buy you these things. You don't have to. If you have these things laying around your house, awesome. If not, we can make it work with other things. So in science, like I said, we were talking about animal adaptations. So to refresh your memory, if you don't remember, since it was before this break started, animal adaptations are any of those physical characteristics, so those physical traits that animals have that help them survive well in their environment. So it's some kind of physical trait that they have that will help them eat, will help them survive, protect themselves. It's something that's going to help them be the best version of themselves in their environment. So some examples that we talked about in class, one would be camouflage. So many animals have camouflage, which means the color of their fur or their skin, the color that they are, helps them blend into their environment so that they can hide. And this can help the animals protect themselves and hide from predators in their environment. And this is in most environments, like in the desert, we have sandy colored animals. Underwater, they can blend in with the coral reefs. So camouflage is a big adaptation. Another adaptation we talked about were the beaks of birds. So birds have very different beaks depending on the type of bird. So some birds have those really long, skinny beaks that are like tweezer-like beaks, and those type of beaks help the animals get food, like insects that are in trees that they have to pick away at a small, tiny spot, and the beaks help them get in those tight spots so that they can get their food. Other birds have very large beaks, very large, strong beaks, like a hawk, for example. And that is because they might eat small animals, and they need to have a strong beak. Other birds have kind of medium-sized, strong beaks, so they can break away the seeds and get what they actually want to eat. So their beaks are an adaptation that help them get food. They help them. That's their adaptation to help them survive. So there are many different adaptations. I know we talked about a lot, and I know that game gives you a lot of examples of adaptations. If you are having trouble remembering some, that would be a good game. So let's get on to the activity. Again, this is suggested. You don't have to. I just think it's a really fun activity that we were going to do in class. We were going to do this activity one day during school, but since school is canceled right now, you can do it from home if you can. So we are going to be making adaptation vests, so like a vest that you wear, and we are going to make adaptations of that vest that would help us survive if we had this vest on, if we were in a given environment. So you get to choose your environment. So this is step 1. And I'm going to write this in text below this post. But step 1 is to pick your environment that you want to best adapt to. So if you remember that matching game, we matched up organisms with their environment. Whatever you thought, you got to pick what organism you thought would survive in a different environment. So there were many different environments, some being, there was the desert, there was the ocean, we have rainforest, woodland forest, cold environments like Antarctica. There's many different environments, so you first get to choose what environment you want to survive in. So once you have your environment, then you are going to decide what kind of adaptations would help you best survive in that environment. So for example, what I'm going to do today is my environment is going to be the desert. So I'm choosing I want to best survive in the desert, and I have to make my vest be transformed into these a vest that'll help me best adapt to the desert. So, which you'll see later. So what we're going to be doing first is brainstorming what kind of adaptations that we need. So I'm brainstorming, I'm thinking the desert, I need to protect myself from predators. There are a lot of predators in the desert that would probably, I probably couldn't defend myself from alone. So I need some kind of protection. I also know that the desert is very hot, so the sun is beating down, so I need something to protect me from that that sun and the heat that would be in the desert. And then I know there's also not a lot of water in the desert, so I need to figure out something that could help me have water. So those are the things that come to mind for the desert. So you would have to think about what environment you choose and how you would best adapt to that environment. So I am finished with my brainstorming. So the next step is to make my actual vest. So these are the supplies you're going to need. Okay, so our brown paper bag. This is just a Kroger brown paper bag. If you don't have one, don't make mom and dad go get you a brown paper bag. Definitely, if you have one laying around, that's great. If you don't have one, maybe mom and dad are gonna go grocery shopping in the next couple days, and maybe at that point they could. But don't send them out to get this just for this activity. You also could just draw your vest. You could draw your vest on a piece of paper, or get creative if you think you can make a vest out of something else. Go right for it. I'm going to use a brown paper bag because that's what I think will work best for this, but definitely use whatever you have laying around the house that would work. So I don't want Kroger to be on my vest. I'm going to make this my back side because I don't want Kroger across my adaptations. That wouldn't make sense. So first I need to cut the hole for my neck. So looking at the side of the bag that has no writing, you're going to flip the top down. So I got this part right here that would be the bottom of my bag, and I am going to cut a square out of it. So I'm going to be cutting on both sides, so it's kind of the top if you have it flat. I'm going to be cutting a hole big enough for my neck. I'm kind of going like halfway. And obviously if you need more, if you don't cut enough, you can cut more. But probably start with a smaller hole so that you don't overcut it. So it was a little square like that, and if I look, I've got what will be my neck. My neck will be coming out of that. So now I want to cut down because the vests are open in the front. I'm going to cut just a straight line just in the front section of my vest because we don't need the back to be open. So I'm just going to cut a straight line through that front layer all the way to the top. Great, so I can now open my vest up. This will be my neck hole, but I need to be able to get my arms through my vest. So now that this is done, I'm going to open my vest up and see where my armhole would be. So I kind of have a little hole in my bag already, which is going to kind of help me. But if you open your bag up, it's going to be the side here. I'm going to pop this out a little bit so I can cut it more easily. And I'm going to cut an armhole. And again, probably start small because you can always cut more out. And I'm going to just cut an armhole. So I'm probably going to need, oh, this is Archer. This is my puppy. He's a little, he doesn't know what I'm doing, so he might make a couple of guest appearances in my videos. Okay, so this might be a little bit small for my arms, but it'll work for now. I can add to that later. And then I'm going to do the same thing on my other side. I'm kind of flipping this part inside out. And then I'll cut this side as well. So obviously you guys probably will have smaller arms than I do, so you might just need a little armhole like I had. I'll probably have to make it a little bigger. Alright, and if you look, I have my vest with my neck hole and my armholes. Pretty cool. So, now that I have my vest cut out, I can decorate my vest. So, I'm only going to want to put things on the front and then maybe the sides. The back, we're not going to worry about. Nobody's going to see it. It's definitely more going to be on the front, and the sides will show once you have it on. So if you want to try it on so you can get a better idea about it, go for it. But we don't want to put anything on the back because we're not going to see it unless you really want to. That's fine. So now I'm going to make my adaptations. I'm going to put a little video in of me making my vest, and then we'll talk about it at the end. So remember the things that you brainstormed. Kind of think about how you want to make those adaptations to help you survive, and then go ahead and just decorate it however that you would like. All right. Alright, boys and girls, so now that I am finished with my vest. So, I'm sure you will all be much more creative than I was. This is the best I could do right now. So, I thought for the desert, how I said, I was going to need something to help me get water. So I have a pouch here that I would be able to put water in it, and I'd be able to store it, so that I would always have water with me. So, and the other thing that I brainstormed was that it was going to be very hot in the desert. Very hot, and I need something to help me keep cool. So, in the desert, animals are normally light colored because the light coloring reflects the sunlight and it helps them keep cool. So I did kind of a sand yellow colored camouflage to help me keep cool with having the light color. And also it would help protect me because I would blend into the sand more with the light colored, tan colored camouflage. And then these red dots would be, I kind of tried to make them 3D. The red spikes are like a cactus, how a cactus has spikes. They would prevent predators from getting me because they would get poked. So this is what I came up with. And then obviously you would put your vest on. So I was having trouble putting mine on because I'm a little too big for my paper bag. But I know that these are probably just your right size for you. So I can hold it like this and it looks like I have my desert adaptation vest on. So go ahead if you would like this weekend or next week to have something fun to do. Make an adaptation vest, take a picture with it on. I would love, love, love to see it. It will definitely make my day. I will post a text instruction with this video in case you kind of forget what to do. But remember, you can pick any environment. You could pick the ocean, which would probably be so cool to see that. The rainforest, there's so many, even the very cold climates. It would be very cool to see what you guys all come up with, so be creative. Remember, if you don't have a brown paper bag, don't make mom and dad go get you one. You could just draw a vest for me. That would be awesome. Whatever you come up with, so be creative and make sure to send me a picture. All right, boys and girls, have a great weekend. I will be back next week with more videos and fun stuff for you all. Okay, thanks.